My name's Elyse Tomasselo. I grew up on Long Island my whole life, out east.
I'm Jamie Butcher. I'm from Port Jefferson, Long Island. Yeah, there's just something about being in that atmosphere, being in Mulcahy's, backstage, watching all the fights, hearing the crowd from the warm-up area. It just gives you butterflies and you can't beat it. Well, I've heard a lot of fighters talk differently about those couple of minutes right before you walk out to the ring. You know, some people are excited, some people are calm, some people are, just crazy, screaming out of control, I'm gonna kill this person. But I find that I don't really remember it, as I feel like I am kind of teleported right from the warm-up area to stepping into the ring. I don't even remember the walkout, anything like that. So the next thing I know, I'm pretty much in the ring and looking around, seeing the crowd, and just feeling the energy and feeding off of that.
In life in general, I've always pretty much taken things by the head. I take it as a challenge, and I don't back down, no matter what it is. It kind of just ties in with my life in general, my backstory, and just my competitiveness, I guess you can say. It all ties in, goes together, and I'm pretty fearless, I guess you can say. Sometimes more than I should be, but yeah. That's for sure. Every time I step in the ring, I always think the same thing. Well, there's no turning back now. But I do remember the most memorable thing is not a good one. I know for a fact I didn't fight my fight that night, and I'm my own worst enemy, and I'm the hardest on myself, and it ate at me. So that's why we're kind of here today.
What a fucking fight, great fight. Good job.
Why do you think you won that fight?
Well, first I'd just like to say Elyse was a fantastic fight. She's a great fighter. She's got a lot of heart. She was a very tough fighter, definitely has a lot of power in her hands. And I think she just hadn't fought many people who fight the way that I do. I am southpaw. I do throw a lot of side kicks, and I think that was a factor in my win. But ultimately, I think I just had the luck of the draw that night. I maybe hit some angles on her she wasn't ready for. Maybe hit those side kicks, but this fight coming up, I know she's going to be ready for it. So it's going to be even more interesting.
I think that everything is a learning lesson, no matter what you do in life. And I mean, let's be honest, Jamie won fair and square. It is what it is. She won. She deserves it. I was very happy for her. I mean, after the fight, we were hugging each other like we were before the fight, like we were at the weigh-ins. We're cool with each other. It's just, I know me, and I know that I didn't put my best performance out there. If I left that fight knowing that I fought my best fight, I would have, that's it. You did the best that you can. But I know that I didn't, and yeah.
I will say that from every fight, from one fight to the other, I'm always a completely different fighter. Just because training progresses, time progresses, I change things all the time in my fighting style. So, she's still fighting me, but she's fighting a newer version of me. So I think we'll both be prepared in a different way for that.
Every fight that I lose, I'm very hard on myself. I get very upset. I pretty much, it affects me for about 24 hours after the fight. No matter what fight it is, it always affects me the same way. But honestly, I sulked about it. I was sad about it. I was upset about it. 24 hours later, I texted Bobby. I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go. When are we training again? And he's like, why don't you give yourself a couple days? So to put it this way, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm about a 14 excited for this fight. I've been wanting it for so long. As soon as we stepped out of the ring, I was ready to go. I was ready for it. What I'm most excited about is just to fight my fight. She's a great fighter. She's gonna go in there, fight her fight, and I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about my fight. I wanna put on a performance that I know that I can do.
It's just, there's something a little bit more electric about it, no matter what you do. But because it's a rematch, everyone is coming into this fight from a viewer's point of view, thinking that they know what's gonna happen, or thinking that they know what's gonna be different this time. And it's a fight. It's never gonna go the way anyone plans it. So it's completely exciting to see how Elyse and I will be differently prepared for this. Going into round 1, I remember thinking, yes, she comes in as hard and as fast as I thought she would. And I remember thinking, man, this might be a brawl, because we were getting really up close and personal really quick. So that was exciting. Oh my gosh. I can't breathe because I've got this water still stuck in my throat. So round 2, I'm choking, dying, but we're still going. And the crowd's going crazy, of course, because she's got a huge following, which is awesome. And I just remember hitting a couple combinations, trying to get in and out, and feeling like there were good exchanges. I felt like in the second round we had a better feel for each other, so we were kind of playing to each other's, to our own fortes a little bit better. And I think actually the second round was probably the most exciting for me, because it was that mixture of technique and energy and brute, just wanting to smash the person's face in, and it was just the perfect mix.
A little bit from your perspective.
It's kind of actually comical now. I don't remember much of the fight. I never remember my fights. It's just I always have to look back and watch them. But I do remember, I don't know if I can say this, Bobby was getting really mad at me because I wasn't listening to him. As all my fights, I know that I'm having a good fight because I don't remember what's going on. I'm not aware of anything around me. And I remember that fight being very aware of everything going on around me, which made me not be aware of what Bobby was saying to me completely. And I do remember, I don't remember in between what round it was, but she got me with a really good side kick right in my nose. Definitely broke my nose. And I remember going in the corner because I was at the end of one of the rounds and being like, Bobby, she broke my nose. And he's like, no, you're good. Trying to stay calm. She didn't break your nose. You're okay. And I'm like, no, I'm telling you. And the next thing I know, he's like, if it was broken, it would be bleeding. And blood just started pouring everywhere. And he's like, you're fine. You're okay. Go for it. And I just all right, whatever. It is what it is. My nose is broken. My adrenaline was rushing, and like I said, I'm very competitive, and I don't stop for anything. And actually, after she broke my nose, it was the best I fought that fight. So.
Inspired you, good.
I don't know.
Third round comes out, and I just know I want to play around a little bit. I want to keep my distance. I am the taller fighter, so I wanted to play to my strength a little bit in that respect in the third round. And I think we were both happy with it at the end. I think as soon as that bell rang and we gave each other a hug, I know that we each knew, we fought our hearts out. So that's just always an awesome feeling. And I always have a lot of respect for fighters, who can put everything aside right at the end of the round and really, just be happy that we had a good fight,
It's funny to think when she fought me, that was her first belt. And here we are, January's coming. I mean, today even. Now she has 2 belts and I have a belt. So it's just like, in a sense, it is a different ballgame. We're both more experienced. We're both more seasoned. It is what it is. That's what happens when time goes on. But at the end of the day, like I said, none of that matters. I'm just excited to finally fight my fight. This is a pretty big fight for both of us. It's a pretty big fight, I think, for anybody who was there that night.
I think one of the strongest points that Elyse has truly is her hunger and her determination and her will and her heart when she gets in the ring. So, listen, I don't think either of us are going into this fight thinking this is going to be an easy fight. I think we're both going to fight our hearts out again. I think it's going to be another awesome fight, and you should look forward to it.
Well, I think it's safe to say, and everyone knows, the majority of my fights, I fought people taller than me. It is what it is. So definitely her height, which I know about. But she has a pretty wicked sidekick. That's what broke my nose, and that's what I will be avoiding this time.
Elyse and I, who both have titles under Jackhammer Promotions, will be now fighting for a vacant title, the WKA state title, which it's a complete honor that we're going to be able to fight for this. The first thing that my coach said to me was that, you know, if you are fighting for a WKA title, that's what his coach told him to fight for. So it's kind of like, you know, this generational legacy that if you really grown into your own in amateur kickboxing and you're fighting for a WKA title, you know, you've kind of taken that next step up. So it's completely an honor. It's totally exciting that both of us are able to fight for this this title. And, you know, win, lose, or draw, WKA is going home to a Long Islander, so that's really what we're excited about.
See you there!